Welcome back to the Seaboard Central, everyone, in part 3 of the solo operating session. We're going to pick up where we left off the last time. So if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, I'd invite you to go back and check those videos out so you'll figure out what's going on. So right now what we've done is we're about to run around our cars. The engineer was on the 2003, so he swapped ends. And now he's transitioned to the 2040, so he set up the controls there to operate from the 2040. And that leaves the 2003 in the trailing position. So the brakeman straightened up the mainline switch. And we're going to pull ahead. Once the engines get by, the brakeman can line that switch back out of the siding. He'll go ahead and start lining the switches into ADM. All right, with the conductor on board and lined into the Raglan runaround, it's time to go couple up to the end of the cars. Stretch it out. Make sure the coupling's good. Now you can release the handbrakes. So while the engines were going to the other end of the cut, we still have the derails off in the Raglan runaround. The brakeman's lined this switch out of the runaround back out. He's also lined us into ADM and took the derail off. So the engineers contacted the brakeman, and the brakeman said everything's ready to go. They've double checked everything, and now it's time to shove towards ADM. So the first thing we want to do is we want to shove all 8 of these loaded corn hoppers by on this pocket track so we can go ahead and work the tank track. We got just enough room to shove these cars back. Brakeman's made sure this crossover here is lined. And he's already at the coupling. So the conductor's made the cut. He's holding to the tank cars and 2 empty DDG cars. We'll pull high and clear the switch. Now the conductor's got us lined all the way over to the tank track. We're going to shove back and make a coupling on those cars that are hanging out. We'll stretch them out and make sure they're solid. Yep, we got them. All right, the brakeman's taking this derail off, and he's checked everything out on the tank track. Those rear two cars are coming out, and he's at the coupling. So we'll go ahead and couple up to these cars. All right, with everything ready to go, we'll pull ahead and set the rear two cars over to a ADM lead track, and then we'll come back in and we'll spot the other cars back up. This curve on the tank track lead is a 24-inch radius curve, and it's the tightest curve that I have on the Seaboard Central layout. And I try to only use it in industrial trackage. I find anything tighter than a 24-inch radius curve can cause derailments on more modern equipment. So what we're doing is we're just shoving back to respot the empties for loading on the tank track. Just easing them back. We got to spot these cars just right underneath each one of those loading platforms. There's 3 loading platforms, and at full capacity, ADM could be pumping out 3 cars a day, but for right now they're just doing 2, and they're loading them out of the 2 platforms at the rear of the track. So what we'll do right here is we need to make a safety stop to stop short of the 1 car length short of the end of the track, because what we definitely don't want to do is run off the end of it. And then we're just going to ease these cars back into position. Right now the engineer will be using a whole lot of train brake, and this is what you call precise movement. And there we go. So with those cars spotted up, we have 3 leftovers. We're going to pull on the other side of that crossing and derail, cut them off on the lead. We call these hanging them out. So we're going to hang out these 3 cars, and they can be used for the next switch. All right, so now what we're going to do is pull out a couple back up to those cars that are over in that pocket track. And we'll start working the storage tracks. So what we're going to do now is pull these 5 rear cars off of track number 6, and then we'll spot those loads up on tracks 5 and 6. When everything's ready, let's pull ahead. So what we're going to do now is we're going to couple up the 5 empty grain hoppers to these 2 loaded ethanol tanks. And we're going to shove this stuff back far enough to where we can get back to that pocket track. We'll stretch them out. Make sure they're solid. We got them. All right, we need 5 car lengths of room, and we have that. Their engine is, they know we're switching the place, so they're staying in the clear and out of the way while we make this move. Need 1/2 of a car, and that should do it. All right, the cut's made. We're going to pull ahead, clear the switch. Now, if you can see where that ADM covered hopper is sitting, a lot of side swap moves happen when they leave cars too close and not in the clear. So a car like this BNSF covered hopper going by it, it's possible it could start scraping the sides of the car if they don't leave enough room. So we can put 4 cars on each one of these tracks. So we'll put 4 on track 6 and then spot 4 more over on track 5. That'll do. All right, cut's made. We'll come out with a Sioux car and go over to track number 5 with the other loads. You can see how much work's just involved in this Raglan switcher job. Makes for a really fun operating session. And that's good. All right, we're going to hang the two empty DDG cars out over here on this pocket track. We'll just pull them up out of the way. Cut them off around the clearance point. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to finish pulling ADM. We need to clear this crossover. We'll reach over to track number 4 and grab everything else off of track 4. All right, everything's ready to be pulled out. We'll be all finished with ADM. So this is going to be it for ADM. We're pulling the last track out. We'll pull everything out and clear everything up. It's also going to be the end of part 3 of the solo operating session. So I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you hadn't already done so, hit that notification bell so you'll get notified when a new video is uploaded on the Seaboard Central. Also bypasses YouTube's algorithm. The Seaboard Central, at least the new Seaboard Central, is turning out to be just as fun to operate as the old one. I'm really looking forward to watching the railroad expand and add more operations. And as we go along, I'll get more detailed into the operations. So this is going to be it for part 3. Be sure to come back next week for part 4. We'll see what we can do then. So until then, thanks for watching, and happy model railroading, everyone.